For the first time visiting any city will always heighten your senses. Edinburgh, a city renowned for its culture, comedy and courtesy, beckons with much aplomb. But what about the culinary side of things? That's what I'm here to find out.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
G'day guys, Voucher Gu Du Nation, and that's Gaelic for welcome to Edinburgh. And that's right, welcome back to my video, and I'm coming to you from Edinburgh here in Scotland. And this is, my god, this is just so beautiful. I just got off the train earlier on the LNER from London King's Cross Station, so you might want to check out that video if you have not. So here I am in Edinburgh, Scotland. This is pretty much like Harry Potter Central. So I'm gonna be here for the next 5 days, so God knows how many episodes of Edinburgh is gonna be created out of this stay. So I hope you stay tuned for all of them, and of course food is gonna be involved. So without further ado, I am so hungry right now. So off the train, we just dropped our bags off somewhere to be stored for a few hours before our next destination. So we're off for lunch, and yeah, come and join me for my stay in Edinburgh for this travel series. Let's do this.
If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan. Born and bred in Singapore, I now call Australia home, and I create heaps of travel and food-related content. This trip sees us set foot in 5 countries over the course of 2.5 weeks. We stop in China for a first glimpse into an often misunderstood country. And then we set off to the UK, where we'd spend most of our time in Scotland as part of a wedding party. And what an eventful week that was. We then make our way towards Scandinavia, stopping in Denmark, and I pay homage to Sweden, because every person alive needs to visit the ABBA Museum and know that the meatballs you have in IKEA taste nothing like the ones in Sweden. We make a brief stop in Finland before heading back to the UK for our extremely long flight back home. This travel series will be filled with flight reports, destination vlogs, and a train journey thrown in for good measure. And these videos will be linked in the description as and when they're published. So make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell icon so you won't miss the next episode coming up. Giving me a like is a good way to support my channel. So here's the thanks, because it's very much appreciated. The capital of Scotland, Edinburgh, is UK's second most visited city as far as tourist inbound traffic is concerned. Pretty incredible, especially when you consider there are only about 500,000 residents here versus London's nearly 9 million. Just like the rest of the UK, central Edinburgh, where all the action is concentrated, struggles to cope with this influx. If you aren't arriving into Edinburgh by car, airport trains and buses will take you to the central city. Or if you're like me arriving by train from London, you'd pull into Waverley Station. Luggage storage facilities at the train station are very limited, and they don't take large bags. Restaurants, cafes, and other independent retail shops in the vicinity will offer to store your luggage for a fee, but only online bookings are accepted. So take note of this before you arrive. We hit the ground running straight off the train. Voted the best restaurant in Edinburgh for the year 2022, we make a beeline for Makars Mash Bar. You know the saying, when in Rome. Well, this restaurant features unfussy Scottish comfort food in an informal setting. Scottish cuisine isn't just about haggis and lawn sausages. We're here to be all carved up because, as the name suggests, everything here is served with a side of mashed potato. A one-page menu is normally a sign the restaurant should do what they do very well, because the kitchen isn't overwhelmed in trying to do 1,000 things right. A crown of slow-cooked beef shoulder with a rich horseradish-infused gravy, sitting on a bed of fluffy mash with mature Scottish cheddar. If that does not sound seductive, I don't know what else will. It was extremely fork tender, and I could picture myself devouring this by the fireplace while it's snowing outside. But it's also okay in the warmth of this Scottish summer. Hubby's choice was a thick slice of honey-baked hamon, which was just as delicious and surprisingly not too salty. Yummo! Central to all things touristy in Edinburgh is the Royal Mile. Considering J.K. Rowling wrote her Harry Potter series here in Edinburgh, unsurprisingly, much of the book's notable landmarks have been inspired by what you see here. Edinburgh is indeed the Disneyland for Harry Potter fans. Even for me who isn't one, it's hard not to be swept up by this. As a touristy hub, the Royal Mile is also crammed to the gills with every stereotypical Scottish innuendos you can think of. Shops selling kilts, tartan printed scarves, whiskey, and rounds of the Highland coo. So expect to be bombarded by all things Scottish. The Scottish culinary immersion continued at the next destination. We were visiting the Haggis Box for a serve of something quintessentially Scottish. So we were here for a savoury Scottish pudding called haggis, otherwise known in Scottish Gaelic as tagish. This pudding contains minced up sheep's heart, liver, and lungs, and it's then fluffed up and mixed with onion, oatmeal, lamb fat, spices, and stock, which is then encased in the lining of a sheep's stomach. Haggis is widely considered to be the national dish of Scotland. The one I have here is served with a creamy mustard whiskey sauce, and then beneath it we have a bed of neeps and tatties, which is really 2 layers of turnip and potato. The haggis ingredients could be off-putting for some people, but I personally found it to be deliciously savoury, with a nutty undertone. While this serve looked tiny, it was very rich and filling. Considering I just had a full lunch, I could only devour that much of it. It is now late afternoon, and we've collected our bags and we're waiting to be picked up by friends who were driving here from London. Some 30 of us were travelling separately to Edinburgh from all over Australia to attend a wedding. It was definitely great to be meeting happy faces. And we were all staying in one location, the wedding venue. Located a 35-minute drive from central Edinburgh, we found ourselves in Gorebridge. Welcome to the Kirkhill mansion. This mansion was constructed by Henry Dundas in the 18th century. Himself a trusted right-hand man of the British Prime Minister William Pitt during that period. The house was ravaged by a fire in the 1950s, resulting in the deaths of the owner and the maid. Parts of the mansion are believed to be haunted, and some of us even experienced what we thought to be very light paranormal activities during our stay. The occurrences did not feel sinister, so perhaps it was just curious spirits wanting to get a feel who was coming into their spaces. Our hosts for this stay was the happily married couple, our dear friends Tim and Mark. And dinner tonight was a simple and delicious welcome meal of pesto pasta with chunky roast chicken. This was also a great opportunity for us to meet everyone else because not all of us knew each other.
Good morning guys, welcome back to my video, and this is day number 2 here in Edinburgh. I ended episode number 1 when we checked into Kirkhill mansion at the estate last night. So yeah, so we just left the mansion this morning to come into town. And this is day number 2 here in Edinburgh. So come along with me to see what I can get up to in today's episode. So let's do this.
Breakfast was catered for at the mansion during our stay. But you know me. After swallowing my fair share of country brekkie, I was now in town in search of brekkie number 2. For this, I look to Mor Bakehouse. Mor is a bakery which is inspired by the cafes of Copenhagen in Denmark. In fact, Mor in Danish means mother. One thing which caught my eye when I walked past yesterday was a Scottish option for a brekkie roll. And today, I'm back for the full Scottish brekkie experience. While there are many other delicious-looking confectionery options available, nothing beats the feeling of this noisy crush of a paper bag holding something warm and greasy within. Voila! Here we have the full Scottish, layered with bacon, lawn sausage, haggis, egg, and melted cheese. The first bite is an explosion of salty umami pleasure. I enjoyed the haggis yesterday, and today the joy has been doubled with the addition of lawn sausage. In fact, I think lawn sausage tastes a bit like spam. Either way, this was one satisfying brekkie roll. I really cannot stop eating. The next target of attack for this culinary journey is right here in Victoria Street. This is definitely one of Edinburgh's most iconic thoroughfare, with its unusual curve and a collection of brightly coloured quirky shops. This street is widely believed to be the inspiration behind Diagon Alley in the Harry Potter series. For someone who's not exactly a Harry Potter fan, I really found myself craning my neck silly looking out for Harry Potter Easter eggs all over the Old Town precinct. They are the self-proclaimed the best delicious hog roasts and pulled pork in Edinburgh. We paid a visit to OINK here in Victoria Street. There are 2 other outlets in Edinburgh, but this one here today was the most convenient. There's no mistaking what they're serving here once you walk up to the shop front. The delicious aroma surrounds you once you come close. And even if you're not hungry, you'd surely be tempted to try the smallest serve of whatever they're selling. And this was just what I did. The tiniest serve they could sell me was the piglet, and I ordered an extra serve of crackling to go with it. There's 80 grams of pulled pork within, and for the accompanying sauces, of course, I went with apple. You can choose the other options like mayo, barbecue, or chili jam.
This is disgusting. Who put jam?
The folks at OINK did not disappoint. The crackling, as you heard, was crackling. It was so good I saved the second piece for last. And the pulled pork. Oh my goddess of mercy. The juicy flavors were just absolutely gorgeous. And you could still taste the pork after everything has gone down south. I could have easily gone for another one of these, so the next time I return to Edinburgh, I'm definitely making a return trip to OINK. The next food item on my list really started as a stupid dare between 2 Scottish schoolboys near Aberdeen in 1992. The challenge was to eat something disgusting, so they walked into a fish and chips shop, gave the owner a Mars bar to be battered and fried. At least this is how the story goes. There are many variations to this tale, but no matter which way the yarn is spun, there's no denying how this disgusting dare became a sensation before social media was even born. Scottish newspapers picked the story up, then the BBC, and from there the world. I've always heard about this curious snack, and after asking around in Australia unsuccessfully, I am here, half a world away in Edinburgh, Scotland, to have my first ever deep-fried Mars bar. The Mars Bar or Snickers can be used as well because there really isn't any rule to this. They are normally frozen beforehand to prevent them from melting too much during the deep fry process. The batter is similar to the one used for fish and chips, and the result is this surprisingly tasty but ultra unhealthy sweet treat. Glad I've done it, and it's not something I'd repeat again unless I'm drunk. Have you done the deep fried Mars Bar before? Let me know in the comments. I swear I wasn't looking for more Harry Potter reminders. I was just extremely curious what the hell is butterscotch beer. And after seeing signs for it plastered all over the place, I walked up to the Elephant House. As it turns out, J.K. Rowling wrote much of her Harry Potter books at the back room of the original Elephant House, located a short distance away. That cafe was destroyed by a fire in 2021. So here we are, at the new location of the Elephant House Magical Cafe. Butterscotch beer, or butter beer, is featured several times throughout the Harry Potter series. It's really a concoction of cream soda, butter syrup, butterscotch and cream. And voila! We have this magical potion which is rather enjoyable. Butter beer can also be bought by the bottles. It's pretty incredible to see just how a simple book has come along to create such a frenzy. And you'd find these Easter eggs even when you aren't looking. I did say I don't really follow the Harry Potter series, but I'm now going to watch the reruns just to look out for what in Edinburgh inspired these books. This has certainly been a very surreal experience. Dinner that night was back at the mansion, where we nibbled on a buffet of random savory snacks. And this was all in preparation for the huge event for all of us the next day, which was the actual wedding. Further into the night, the best man and his husband, Adrian and James, morphed into Jason Campervan and Sheila respectively. This hilarious duo kept us entertained as we come to the end of this Edinburgh episode. Have you been to Edinburgh before? Or would you like to come here after watching this? Let me know either way in the comments. For now, let's conclude and join live Ryan at the mansion to wrap this all up.
Well guys, so that is the end of day number 2 here in Edinburgh. So the weather has kind of turned. It went from sunny to cloudy and now it's drizzly. This is probably typical English weather, and it's also gotten a lot colder. Well anyway, so that was my stay, my day number 2 right here in Edinburgh. So I hope you like what you've seen today. So anyway, I've chucked details of my Instagram on your screen right now. So make sure you hit me up there and chuck me a follow so you can actually see what am I up to in real time. And of course, more importantly, do not forget to hit the subscribe and the bell notification icon. And I will see you for my next video. Bye!